The 7800 Plus came out to the masses just a short month ago, and no doubt many people unwrapped one Christmas morning. And if you are one of those people, congratulations! I hope you're really happy with your gift, purchase, and the new system in general. The 7800 is fantastic, and has been underrated for quite some time. Growing up, I was the only person I knew who had one, and it made me feel special, honestly. Everybody had the NES, heck, even I had the NES, but nobody else had this awesome new Atari console. Heck, when I brought up Atari, people assumed I meant the 2600, and that I was playing games like the awful Pac-Man port, Adventure, Haunted House, and many of the other classics. And to be honest, I was playing those classics, but I was also watching the amazing scrolling backgrounds of Pole Position 2, trying to save as many people as I could in my sortie while playing Shoplifter, and heck, even pounding some buildings in Rampage. My point is, the 7800 is cool, if you give it a chance and really dive into the library and see what it has to offer. But Homebrew has made the 7800 something truly special in the last decade or so. Developers like Robert DeCrescenzo, hallowed be his name, Daryl 1970, and even the Rebels over at Video 61 have put out some awesome, awe-inspiring games, such as Baby Pac-Man, Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest, and a port of the arcade game of Popeye. Heck, there's even an enhanced version of Venture that blew my beloved 2600 version out of the water. So is the 7800 Plus the best way to experience this plethora of incredible titles, and what the 7800 has to offer? Or is there an alternative that you should be paying attention to? Well, let's discuss. But first, a friendly reminder to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Once we reach 5,200 subscribers, we'll be doing another giveaway. But you can only participate and know about it if you're subscribed. And please check out the Discord for the final high score challenge coming soon. We have one last trophy cart to give away, and it's up for grabs. Links to everything in the description. I received my 7800 Plus a few weeks back, and have done some extensive testing, playing, and just messing around with it. I've attempted to unsuccessfully upgrade the firmware, which I won't get into here, but I still don't know why I have to lurk around Atari Age to do that. Atari.com should be the place to do so, but, well, whatever. I've tested a ton of cartridges on the console, from retail stuff to homebrew, and to the downright obscure things. And I even took it live for an impromptu stream. And my findings, well, honestly, they might surprise you, especially if you checked out some of my member-only stuff. Initially, I was in love with the 7800 Plus, and I found it more functional and better supported than the 2600 Plus was at launch. But why did things start to feel off then? Why did I feel that I wasn't getting the best experience possible? Well, that might be because a certain alternative has me spoiled. But let's highlight the good, the bad, and the plain ugly with the 7800 Plus first. The packaging and unboxing experience was great. I love the design of the unit, and even though it's based off the European version of the console, well, I found it all very nostalgic. That's because, honestly, the European design isn't all that different from the US one. It still features a cartridge slot that seats the cartridges in backwards. It still has that silver accent with the rainbow strip, and it still has all the buttons, switches, and ports one would expect. Well, most of the ports. The expansion port is missing, but that was literally never used. The packing controller is not the United States released Pro line, but the European CX78 and a Plus version at that. And most people should be familiar with this if they've been playing the 7800 for a while. It's no longer this mysterious foreign controller. Most of us have been using either it, or an aftermarket controller, or even the Mega Drive/Genesis adapter for some time now. But this CX78 Plus is wireless with dongles for both the 7800 Plus and the PC, which is incredible. I love the versatility, although I haven't had an occasion to try it on the PC yet, and I probably won't for some time. But still, the option is nice and a step beyond the expected, in my opinion. Most people will probably try the pack-in game of Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest first, and rightfully so. This gem of a game is from the one, the only, Robert DeCrescenzo, and is something really special for the 7800. Personally, it wasn't the first cart to grace my 7800 Plus, but I want to cover it first regardless. This game is awesome, and many have called it the platformer that the 7800 needed back in the 1980s, in order to compete with the NES. And others simply say that it's the Pro System's Super Mario Bros. Personally, I think it has more in common with Adventure Island and Wonder Boy, but that's really just splitting hairs. It is the platformer that many of us have dreamed about for 40 plus years now. But why does it feel so hard to control then? Why does it feel so off? Well, again, I've personally been spoiled, thanks to the Mega 7800 adapter from Atari Age and Stone Age Gamer, and the awesome aftermarket stuff from OGHUGO. Links in the description. Going back to the Europad is... well, it's rough. That's because the buttons are spaced too far apart to make Bentley run like you would expect or want him to. You see, much like modern platforming games, and pretty much any other game since Super Mario back in the NES, you want to hold one button to run and roll your thumb to make him jump. But that's impossible with this controller. It makes me wonder, what is so plus about the CX78 Plus? The wireless functionality? It's needed, but the buttons should be slightly closer together more than anything else. And I was personally able to easily remedy this control issue by just plugging in one of my many other controllers. But why would Atari release a controller like this and make Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest the pack-in? Why pack in this incredible title with a controller that's not well suited for playing it? It just left a bad taste in my mouth, and my main concern is that some people are going to not enjoy this and just turn away and go back to their modern stuff or the mainstream retro stuff. And I don't want that, so personally, I'm frustrated. And the more I thought about it, the more the lineup of launch titles, well, I started to feel underwhelmed by the whole thing. Initially, I was excited, and I do think there is some great quality to be had here. Frenzy and Berserk are awesome ports, and Space Duel is fun too. But why these games? Why not leverage some of the really exciting stuff that the purchase of Atari Age, and heck, their own back catalog of games has to offer? Alien Brigade, Planet Smashers, Dark Chambers, and, well, heck, even Scrapyard Dog are some of the stuff I think of, and I think that people would love to try for the first time ever. And Atari Age could potentially give them access to incredible homebrew that's being produced right now, like Time Salvo, or Wizard's Dungeon, the Dragons Trilogy, EXO, Harpy's Curse, and heck, their purchase of Intellivision could even open up access to things like Dungeon Stalker and Meteor Shower. Well, maybe not Meteor Shower, but imagine a 2-joystick bundle with a plastic holder along with Time Salvo. It would be an incredible introduction to the 7800, the homebrew scene, and the potential future of the console, if you choose to stick with it. This brings me back to the games we got, and given what I listed off, well, again, I'm underwhelmed. Bounty Bob Strikes Back is the single true new release, and it feels archaic, and I'm not excited. Many people have told me they're frustrated and they shut that game off before even discovering the steerable option. And some couldn't even stomach it with steerable on. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll have a link to my review and to Vinny's review for an alternative look at the game in the description below. That should get you up to speed. But rather than exciting people, Atari seems to be cementing the idea that the 7800 was passed up for good reason. And I don't like that. I love the 7800. And I don't need convincing about sticking with it and purchasing the new titles. But I'm afraid the new audience you want to cultivate will not be so forgiving. Their 7800 pluses might become neglected and left in the closet before New Year's comes. And that makes me sad. Maybe they figured the new stuff like Yours Rising is for the potential new customers, and the Plus line of consoles is for us old fogies. But I don't think that's a wise strategy if you want to keep the company viable in the future. So with this experience, I put down my controller and just felt a little nervous about the future, for the first time, well, in a long time. I've been excited by most things Atari has been doing, and I have to admit that even the things I was worried about initially, like the anime-inspired Yours Rising and Lunar Lander Beyond, well, I was wrong about them. They were good experiences, and I had fun with them, which is the most important thing. But my experience with the 7800 Plus wasn't as fun as I would have liked, especially when I put myself in the shoes of a brand new customer. And once again, maybe you're a new customer watching this video and you strongly disagree. Let me know in the comments, or maybe you do agree and you're looking for something that you're missing. And I want to tell you, well, maybe you took the wrong approach to the 7800. I do have an alternative that you might want to try down the road, and it's the method I'm going to go back to moving forward with the 7800. Heck, I have been using it for a long time, way before the 7800 Plus, and I think more people should use this alternative too. There's a product out there called the 7800 Game Drive, and it will give you high-definition access to the 7800 via a port on the front of the cartridge. Now you will have to use an older cable, but it's worth it if your TV supports it. You'll need the Sega Genesis component cable or AV cable, but with it you can get a nice picture out of an unmodded 7800. And the 7800 game drive is a flash card, so you can download a ROM set and have access to the wider library of retail games, homebrew, and lots of cool work-in-progress stuff. Grab this 7800 game drive, a stock working 7800, and the Mega 7800 adapter, and you'll have access to everything you'd ever want. You'll even get things like save states and the ability to pause right from the controller and so much more. And heck, grab an OGHUGO aftermarket controller from eBay for a good alternative for a second player. You won't regret it. With this setup, you'll be able to play anything and everything, and new firmware is a cinch to download and install. You just download it, put it on the root of your SD card, and you're good to go. This truly is a top-tier 7800 experience, in my opinion, and this is from an old-school fan who is crotchety and gets upset easily. That is to say, the 7800 game drive just works, and it works well. Look, I don't want to poo-poo on the 7800 Plus, and I hope tons of people are really enjoying the experience. But I think we need to let Atari know that, well, we want more. We want to see what we missed out on, what the homebrew hype is all about, and what we could have in the future. The 7800 is awesome, so please give it the love it deserves. But I have a feeling that 75% of people will just be happier with the game drive, and I'll have links to my recommended products and setup in the description. The goal of the Atari network is to get you enjoying these awesome games. Whether you're looking for the 2600, 5200, XEGS, Jaguar, or Lynx, and yes, even the 7800. I won't lie to you, and I won't steer you wrong. I might get a little excitable about things, but I'll always try to guide you to the best experience possible. And as of January of 2025, this is the best 7800 experience on the market. That is to say, you won't do better than a stock 7800, a game drive, and a Mega 7800 adapter, along with an OGHUGO aftermarket controller. You've heard my take on the 7800 Plus, now I want to hear yours. How does your experience with the 7800 Plus compare to mine, and are you happy with it? Or do you think the console is a dud any way you slice it? Will you try the game drive, or the 7800 Plus down the road if you haven't already? Let me know about all this, and whatever else you think in the comments down below. And please, check out our reviews of the stuff Atari has been putting out lately. You can stay up to date by searching the Atari Network on social media, and just being subscribed to the channel here on YouTube. And please don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or a dislike if you didn't. Hey, fair is fair. I'd also like to give a shout out to these classy Atarians. They support us on Patreon and via YouTube memberships. Thanks to them we can cover new stuff, do giveaways, and so much more. So thank you all. You guys rock, and I couldn't do this without all your help. And check out Vinny Vineyard over at Big and Funky Productions for a different take on the 7800 scene. He often has contrary views to mine, and maybe he'll be more to your taste. Show him some love, tell him the Atari Network sent you. Okay guys, that's enough for now. I've been the 7800 Pro Gamer, a man reliving my glory days here at the Atari Network, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. And as always, remember to stay classy, Atarians.